Assalamualaikum dan selamat sejahtera to Zakaira Arif Noor and the audience. Before I begin, let me introduce myself. My name is Nurul Amira binti Bazli. So let me explain on the introduction to Islamic social finance. Islamic social finance tools have been instrumental in the elevation of poverty and socio-economic development for over 1,400 years. Islamic social finance is defined as a sector that includes classic Islamic philanthropic institutions such as zakat, sedekah, and wakaf, as well as institutions based on mutual cooperation such as card and kafala, and also modern Islamic microfinance organization. With the growth of Islamic finance and social finance, there is a potential to extend the concept of ISF to encompass capital markets, takaful, and social effect. So today, we are here to present about the Islamic social finance in United Arab Emirates, UAE.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Today, we would like to begin our presentation with the development of Islamic banks in United Arab Emirates. Dubai Islamic Bank is the first commercial Islamic bank in United Arab Emirates. It was established in 1975 by Haj Said bin Ahmed Al. It is the largest Islamic bank in the UAE by assets and a public joint stock company listed in the Dubai financial market. The bank currently operates 90 branches across the UAE, serving close to 1.7 million customers. The second Islamic financial institution, Abu Dhabi Islamic Bank, was established in 1998. Sharjah Islamic Bank, formerly known as National Bank of Sharjah, was the first bank in the world to convert from a conventional bank to a full-fledged Islamic Bank in 2002. At present, they are at full-fledged Islamic Bank in UAE. Total Islamic banking assets in 2016 registered at 159 billion, an increase from 146 billion in 2015.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Nur Afandi bin Jaafar. United Arab Emirates UAE have implemented several instruments of Islamic social finance in the country, such as zakat. The United Arab Emirates UAE has a population of over 9.4 million people, with Muslims around 76% of the population. In UAE, there is a website that calls Zakat Funds that collects zakat on shares, professional businesses, companies, and livestock in addition of Zakat Fitri. The website of Zakat Fund is very interactive and user-friendly. It offers zakat explanation, calculation tools, and online zakat payment apart from online zakat payment via its website. Zakat Fund also refers 15 other zakat payment options such as automatic teller machines, internet banking, and mobile application. In 2017, the Zakat Fund received around 190,000 UAED from this payment method. The zakat collection and distribution made public on the website, and the data is very downloadable in Excel format. This demonstrates the Zakat Fund transparency and aids researchers in studying the Zakat Fund's accomplishment and progress. In administering zakat, the Zakat Fund collaborates with a variety of government and non-government institutions, banks, hospitals, charities, and private entities.
Assalamualaikum, my name is Muhammad Nakim Zaidudin. We will go to the implementation of Wakaf in UAE. It began on October 9, 2006 when a federal order was issued. In Emirates, the Wakaf are under the supervision of a General Authority of Islamic Affairs and Endowment GAIAE or Awqaf. GAIAE is a government of the United Arab Emirates federal agency. GAIAE was established in 2006, aiming to be a global Islamic reference and sustainable Wakaf development powerhouse. Awqaf department is in charge of the religious endowment under Islamic law. Awqaf collect donation from Muslims to fund particular social initiatives including mosque, school, and welfare program. They offer a professional platform that is well regulated and transparent in its operation. GAIAE works on developing malls, developing wakaf, and crafting innovative smart systems for the happiness of the community. In November 2017, Dubai Wakaf Law No. 14 of 2017 was issued by the government of Dubai in attempt to apply a comprehensive and unified legal framework and governance structure for wakaf across the various emirates. In 2018, the UAE has established a clear roadmap for the implementation of wakaf within the federation by enacting Federal Law 5 of 2018, the federal wakaf law governing wakaf activity taking place across the UAE. The federal wakaf law is adopting similar provision to the Dubai Wakaf Law No. 14 of 2017. The law has played part in expanding the scope of endowment to include all areas of development including culture, healthcare, education, and scientific research. The new endowment law will make charity work easier in UAE. Special provision in the endowment law govern the formation of endowment institution. This wakaf provided a considerable contribution to development and advance of the Muslim society. For the wakaf distribution channel Islamic Affairs, the proceeds wakaf are allocated to the mosque and Islamic Affairs related expenses. Wakaf activity in UAE are also include projects such as spreading the Quran, donations such as donation via e-wallets, and vacant wakaf for rent.
Next, we would like to proceed our presentation with the implementation of Islamic social finance in United Arab Emirates under micro takaful. The UAE is the GCC's second largest takaful market. However, it has the lowest penetration rate at only 6% among GCC countries. There are currently 9 takaful enterprises in the region, with gross takaful contributions accounting for 16% of overall takaful contributions. Abu Dhabi National Takaful Company has the highest reinsurance premium ratio as a proportion of gross premium at 58%. It followed by Takaful Emirat at 25%. In the United Arab Emirates, takaful products are generally distributed through brokers and agents.
Next, I will continue on the next implementation, which is Suku. The government in the United Arab Emirates has taken the lead in ensuring that the emirate is one of the first to adopt Sukuk development in order to diversify its economy. Sukuk is a Sharia-compliant alternative to interest-bearing investment certificates or fixed income instruments. Sukuk are based on the collection of cash owners and the investment of those funds through proper financing and investment contracts. A proportionate or undivided ownership interest in an asset or group of assets is represented by a sukuk. The return on sukuk derives from the yield generated by the underlying asset or investment. Dubai Islamic Bank (DIB) is an international leader in sukuk management, covering assets from aircraft to property in the United Arab Emirates. Next, we are choosing zakat as our one specific topic in Islamic social finance. In the Al-Quran, Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala emphasizes a Muslim's responsibility to pay zakat 30 times with 28 verses combining the requirement to pray. Zakat is an Islamic finance term referring to the obligation that an individual has to donate certain proportion of wealth each year to charitable causes. So, who can receive zakat? There are 8 group beneficiaries, which are the poor, the needy, zakat collectors who converted to Islam, freeing captive debtors in the path of Allah, and wayfarer. From zakat, Muslims receive benefits from Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala for fulfilling their obligation and also build Muslim relationship while aiding the government in reducing poverty. Next, the zakat in the United Arab Emirates. It is worth mentioning that funds' primary action in the UAE zakat, from collecting to releasing monies, are governed by rules and regulation. The UAE Zakat Fund has introduced smart program and legal accounts into the zakat system in order to offer maximum advantage to those who deserve these resources. The Zakat Fund is the regulatory agency for zakat in the UAE, and it is administered by the Minister of Islamic Affairs and Endowments. Zakat Fund also offers 15 different zakat payment options, including auto teller machine, internet banking, and mobile application, in addition to online zakat payment through the websites.
Issue of zakat management system and distribution in Islamic world. The first issue that was addressed was distribution. First of all, lack of transparency in the collection process makes it hard for zakat collectors to allocate funds from the Muslims. Next is careless distribution to zakat receivers make the right zakat receivers fail to get their right as zakat receivers. Next is zakat institution do not have proper application to coordinate with the other institution in zakat management process, which make the process of zakat management become smooth. Second issue that was addressed was different interpretation. Different interpretation in collecting zakat among scholars in Islamic world was the issue that had been debated such a long time ago. Different zakatability or zakat interpretation towards major issues such as paper currency, livestock, and web had created divisions among Muslims. These things lead to some confusion to Islamic nations on what the best view they should make to implement the zakat collection rates among the Muslims in Islamic world. The last issue that was addressed was government intervention. Lack of government intervention and role in managing zakat had made the process of collecting zakat become hard. Failure to make law with the legislation and the preparation of technical regulation for optimizing management of zakat had led to lack of zakat collection. Several countries does not involve directly and only send delegation to manage zakat, and this thing had created some issue when the delegation failed to fulfill their responsibility to collect zakat.
Next, what obstacles or challenges does Islamic social finance face in the United Arab Emirates? Firstly, recent regulatory changes pertaining to the structure of sukuk require careful consideration and may diminish some of the recent enthusiasm for Islamic capital market products. Following by a statement by the chairman of the Sharia Committee in November 2007, indicating that 85% of sukuk issues in the GCC do not comply with Sharia principles. This discussion are currently taking place among various stakeholders and market participants to assess the potential for these recommendations to permanently harm the sukuk market. Secondly, the sukuk market remains illiquid due to its limited depth and breadth, primarily because Middle Eastern banks, including in UAE, the most likely securitized or sellers of risk, are flush with liquidity and capital. So, there is no strong funding or balance sheet rationale for sukuk. Regardless of the compelling value proposition of sukuk, Islamic capital markets will not grow meaningfully in the near future unless they have efficient and transparent capital markets and appropriate legal frameworks within which to operate. Thirdly, liquidity risk management in Islamic banks is a significant challenge, hampered by the scarcity of tradable Islamic money market instruments and a lack of systematic liquidity infrastructure. There is currently no Sharia-compliant short-term Islamic money market, duration less than 1 week, in either local currency or US dollars, and Islamic markets have not yet developed. It remains to be seen whether these new solutions will achieve widespread Sharia compliance in the Islamic finance community and generate sufficient demand for the development of a functional Islamic money market.
Next challenge is Islamic bank business structures and products are still very uniform and Sharia compliant, increased risk associated with the product configuration and the process execution. There have been far too many Islamic banks with the same business strategies in recent years. There is a shortage of lending and the current surplus of liquidity has caused Islamic banks to become overly complacent. Furthermore, there is a wide and diversified collection of accounting standards that varies between jurisdictions. To address the complexity and variety of the present contract, simple standard legal contract must be developed and established. Next challenge is financial innovation in Islamic finance is still hampered by the need for harmonized financial regulation. Governance concern, particularly Sharia compliant with good and operation, are a key difficulty for the Islamic financial industry. Although legal expert Sharia decisions are made public, there are presently no uniform standard by which Sharia scholars evaluate whether new items are Sharia compliant. Fatwa are not solidified, preventing jurisprudence from being disseminated, adopted, and cross-fertilized between country and school of thought. Furthermore, there is still a lot of scholar disagreement on Sharia compliance, which make it difficult to create a uniform legal framework and corporate governance standards.
In conclusion, it is not simply the Islamic banking and finance sector which covers Islamic institutions based on philanthropy such as wakaf, zakat, sadaqah, microtakaful, microfinancing or value-based investing and many else. So, based on the topic about zakat in UAE, this can demonstrate that zakat can be part of the community assets that conform to Islamic social fund and at the same time form a well-being capable of uniting the individual for their continued existence. Nevertheless, the public contribution to zakat continuity may be strengthened if the system management defects on zakat land and recognized earlier. That's all from me. Thank you.